Live.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Because I've got this tilted round. Look, I'm going that way. But in actual fact, I should be going that way. Hang on.
At least you've got your t-shirt the right way round now.
No, but it's the problem is it confuses you. Because
I would bet you're the first in the door today.
if I try and point towards you, watch this. That's what it does. Anyway.
Right.
Never mind that. Oh, you've no frozen up again, have you? Aye, well. Afternoon, people. How you doing? David's got to do his link to the Facebook to change over, and I imagine that he'll come back in as soon as he can. Unfortunately, this has happened to us right at the start of the program, and it's happening more and more and more. I'll try contacting them by phone. Let's see what's going on. No. Oh, dear. David playing statues. What's happened? Right. You need. Right.
Just like, there you're there. Right, sorry about that, folks. I'm afraid Restream went down. But anyway, we're back.
Johnny says 77th Brigade.
Aye. So, hi, Maz, how's things?
Alright, it's frozen up again.
Sorry about that.
Will you tell Madam Director to sit down and don't do anything? Oh dear.
Right, David, we're just going to have to go with the way it is now. We've got 91 people on board. Aye, we're still waiting for the Facebook comments to come through. Oh, that's because I have the open Facebook up yet. Okay, because you know the David main Facebook.
Yep. You're also coming across at very low resolution.
Yeah.
It's Sarah's magnetic personality, that's what it is. Hello people, how you doing? Hi guys.
Right, that's Facebook open to the public, so you can share away on Facebook if you want to.
Right.
Anyway, we've got plenty of people on board. Hi, Akis, Mark, Woodpet, Andrew, Ian, Nancy. So let's hope this stays. Hi, Alistair. On the Ukraine war and Brexit, Ian. No, we're sticking a wee bit of Ukraine maybe. We'll see.
Anyway.
Right, we've got enough people on board, so let's get started. I guess we better start with the by-elections, huh?
Yes. It was rather interesting that Sir Keir Starmer needed Oxbridge. Everybody was telling him, you've got to win Oxbridge. And then he doesn't.
When you look at it, it was a three-way split in the by-elections. So, I mean, anybody that thinks that's going to lead to Labour landslide is after chump.
Yeah.
Because three by-elections and Labour only took one of them. Can actually see this next parliament being a hung parliament.
Yeah, the Yeah, at the moment, because of what Keir Starmer is setting up as the narrative, Labour are no hopers. You know what I mean? In terms of positively taking number 10, right? They're not going to do it. They're not going to win at this rate.
No, at this rate, the Lib Dems are going to pick up enough to keep them out a majority. Looking at how, I mean, we'll see what happens with next week's by-elections.
Yeah.
I think the 26th is the next one, isn't it?
Yeah.
27th, sorry, Thursday.
The interesting thing that wasn't put out on the mainstream media and you picked up on was Swindon.
Oh, the council seat at Swindon being up for grabs and the Tories winning it.
Yeah.
So, the by-elections that were held last week, Tories won 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Lib Dems and Labour only won 1 each.
Yeah.
But it could well be that the Lib Dems, as we know, could go back in with the Tories again, David.
Yeah, unless you know the geography of the place. Swindon is a town that's sort of midway between Bristol on the west and London on the getting on for the east, right? So Swindon's right in the middle of that. Swindon was always considered as a dormitory town, along with Oxford and places like that, for London. And you would say to yourself, well, you know, if anybody's got to have a good chance of winning Swindon, it's got to be Conservative, it's got to be the Tories. But after the past, Labour should have been stomping in, taking that, no bother whatsoever.
Yeah, Labour, Lib Dem or Green should have stomped in and taken that one.
That's right, but they didn't.
So,
yeah.
The by-elections, I mean, I don't quite get where John Curtis is coming from, because looking at the by-elections, I don't think we can take a measure on how a general election is going to go for these ones, especially as Mr. Sunak's quite rightly pointed out. The sitting government normally takes a tanking on by-elections, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a different animal.
It's not like the midterms, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a different animal. It's a by-election is almost an open goal for the opposition, whoever that opposition tends to be. Right? But yet again, here we've got an odd situation where we've got an opposition that, what do? When it comes to a vote, something the Tories put across, they sit in their bloody hands.
What's in sit in their hands, David? Yeah. It's what's in sit in their hands. This idiot, as we all know, and we'll get a wee bit more into this a wee bit further down, but he really is Tory.
Yeah.
He's not even Tory light.
Yeah.
He's going to stick to Tory fiscal planning. He's going to stick with the suppression of workers' rights to strike. He's going to stick with the suppression of the right to gather and protest. He's going to keep the 2-child cap, the rape clause. I don't see what this guy's got to offer.
The thing is that as Alistair, who's the guy that did he was the guy that worked for Tony Blair.
Campbell, the one that worked for Blair.
As he said, this is daft. He said, if Starmer just took a position on Brexit that was opposite to what the Tories were doing, it would give clarity, and people would.
Mention that. Anyway, voting Starmer means you get Boris's Brexit.
That's right. Yeah.
But as I say, I don't know where all this trumping about a Labour landslide comes from. Yep, they did overturn the 20,000 majority and end up with a 4,000 majority themselves. And was it Selby?
Ross has put up an interesting wee comment there. Don't want to be rude, but are we going to discuss Scotland or a by-election in a foreign country? We'll discuss the by-election in a foreign country.
If you can find something worth talking about in Scotland right now, and we'll get to some of the stuff that's going on in Scotland, because it is a silly season here in Scotland. The silly season just started down that road.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, the main stories in Scotland today is somebody from Fife wants to challenge the First Minister.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. There you go. Okay.
But the biggest stories at the moment, while we're still in the Union, is this general election coming up, because we're going to be fighting as a plebiscite.
Yeah. very, very important. It's very, very important. We imagine that the Tories are going to like bomb as they normally do in a Scottish election, right? But it is thought, it's highly likely that people will be looking at the Tories in Scotland, being sick of them, and going, how do we get rid of them? And we, Mrs. McGlunford, will go, I'll vote Labour, that'll get rid of them, right? We need to change that mindset. So therefore, it's important to discuss what is going on with these by-elections. We need to know the soft, weak underbelly of Labour in order to make sure that we get that message out really clearly to our next door neighbours and our pals at work and all the rest of it. So anyway, it's all the stuff that you're bringing up is subjects for us to discuss. We're probably going to get to it. We've probably been there and looked at it. So therefore,
we won't get to it, but
wait a bit, all right.
Another one that's important that slipped under the radar in the last couple of weeks is Jeremy Hunt's plan to change how pensions are regulated.
Yeah.
He's going to introduce casino gambling into pensions.
Yeah.
Now, this is going to affect almost every single person out there with a workplace pension.
Yeah.
Because it's all the workplace pension companies that were the first to sign up to this new scheme.
Yeah.
Now, the idea is that they use the pension funds, our pension funds, to fund startups in the UK. Right? Not that anybody's investing in the UK, so what they're going to do is take our pensions and squander them. Probably. But even if, let's say, the day fund are successful, let's say your hedge fund does, or your pension fund does fund a successful startup. The fees to be taken are outrageous at 2%. And if that particular fund increases by 8% because of the speculation in the market, then the pension funds will get to take 20% of that 8% and all. So basically, it's just a way for the hedge fund managers to make money and scalp and gamble with our pensions and unsafe gambling on startups. Not that there are going to be any startups here in the UK unless they're heavily, heavily subsidised by the UK government.
Yeah.
But the idea is it will free up £75 billion of pension funds to be speculated on the market. Is this what we had with the banks when they went down?
Basically, what happened was the banks went down, and you had somebody at the back doors of the banks shoveling money in the back door for the Bank of England. That was it. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, pensions,
anyway,
pensions are different from banks. Banks are businesses that should be allowed to go down, so long as it doesn't affect normal people's bank account money, which we've got a thing in place that covers that up to £85,000.
£85,000,
right? Whereas pensions are a different matter. Pensions are what people are trying to put in place to cover them for their old age. And this new pension that's come forth, let me fiddle about with that already.
No, it's not new pensions. It's pensions. What it does, they're opened up the workplace pension for speculation.
Yep.
Right now. So if you've got a workplace pension with Scottish Widows, Legal and General, Nest,
yep.
the People's Pension, Smart, and Now Pensions, they were the first to sign up to be able to gamble with the money that you're putting away for a rainy day when you're older.
You could say that pension funds are used to gamble on the markets.
Yes, but generally in long-term investments in safe companies.
Yeah, I mean,
they're very tightly regulated.
For example, I had a pension. I had a small private pension, which I could actually tell them what fund to use, and it was one of the funds that I found was very, very quick at gathering money was the Pacific Fund, where it was China and things like that, So, and to be honest with you, that was quite good. But this seems to be just wrong. It's just markedly wrong,
As I say, they're the big ones that were first through the door. Scottish Widows, Legal General, Nest, the People's Pensions, and Smart. and now pensions, which are all the ones that are workplace pensions, basically. That's a list of all the ones that most of the workplace pensions are in.
Yeah.
Rather than long-term safe investments like government bonds and things like that, which is where you want your hedge fund to be putting its money, they're going to use it for startups. Now, most startups fail, so you can expect especially in the marketplace, they're talking about doing the startup in the UK's tiny little 65 million people market.
No, I tell you what will happen is it'll be your Tory con man that makes some money out of that. What they'll do is they'll start a company up, take some money in, let it go pop, take the money away.
Yep. It's just a way of robbing it.
It's what they did with the furlough schemes, isn't it?
Yep.
What they did was they set up a wee company. It was open literally a week, and the money got dashed out. How they did it, I don't know, because if you went through a furlough, you had to prove what you'd done over that period of time. If you'd done any work over that time, you weren't allowed to claim any money whatsoever. Yet I hear of companies that were able to use furlough in any way they like, and also the bounce back loans. The bounce back loans, you had to be in business for a certain period of time before you could take one on. Whereas I've seen down in England, they had shell companies literally just started up a few days beforehand, set up a blooming a bounce back loan, and then went pop. Took the money, obviously,
Aye. But they're opening up the pensions the way they opened up the banks, and we know what happened when a bank started playing casino gambling with your money. So you can bet your boots that your workplace pension is now at risk.
It's all wrong.
Of course it's wrong.
We're living in another blooming dimension, and I tell you that wee lad's right, honestly. Right.
Let's move on. The Labour Party had their policy forum over the weekend there, and it didn't go well. Saturday, Unite and GMB got up and walked out.
Yeah.
Sunday, Unison and GMB walked out. Sunday, Unite with Sharon Graham, Duncan and Teltstarmer. You were putting notice last week, and we'll tell you what you better come up with something on equal pay and workers' rights, and you've watered that down since you were at the Unite conference last week. Mm-hmm. So it didn't go well for Starmer, but they're heralding it in the press this morning saying that he's come up with BEMA policies that they've all agreed on going forward because there isn't any extra cost to the public first. Now Starmer's trying to make it look as if he's frugal and that Labour are to be trusted on the economy. And his way of proving it is to stick with Tory policies. Now, as I say, Unite, Unison, GMB, none of them are chuffed at all with Starmer. Especially on workers' rights, the two-child cap, and the minimum wage. All which Starmer said, it's my way or the highway, get lost. Simple as that.
And what's going to happen is he's going to get what he wants for, what he wishes for. Is the public are all going to get lost and vote for somebody else.
I probably Lib Dems in this case keep them out of majority.
Yeah.
And that opens up what we were talking about in item 1, and that is of course a hung parliament.
Hi Avril, how you doing?
Or even another Tory Lib Dem coalition.
Yeah.
Really, what do you need a Corbyn or something to step up and just start a new party? Then the Labour left will move and split it.
It's not going to happen. It's too short a time to actually make something like that happen.
I get that, David. I get that. But when you look at who's advising Starmer,
he's obviously in a bubble.
He's like Blair and Mandelson.
Yeah, but he's obviously in a bubble, and they're blooming feeding him stuff that really isn't working. And Mandelson will be saying to him, "Oh, don't listen to them. You'll be fine. You'll be fine." That's what Mandelson will be saying.
Why aren't we talking about the Stirling directive? Because there's nothing in it. We'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
Anybody that's not ready, you'll find it in my timeline.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. The holiday chaos at the ports again. That means more problems getting food in, more problems getting goods out as people jam it up, try to go.
Oh, yeah. And we've hiccuped again. Oh dear, this is bad. Anyway, continue talking about the chaos at Dover. As you probably heard, they've got to start dealing with the passports for everybody. So in other words, they can't just wave some through. They've got to literally go through every single passport. Now, any of you that fly abroad, you realise that when you get to the place at the other end, your passport check can be quite a list, quite a lump of people. Sorry, David, you're back with us.
Aye. I'm sorry. I seem to be having some bloody internet problems today.
Yeah, right. Okay, I was just saying that the passport checks are now all having to be done individually, and that's adding extra time on to people leaving the country. But also you have to figure on the checks that are also being done the other way on goods coming in. Now, the story I'm getting is very, very wishy-washy. We're told that the border force still haven't got enough people to do the job. And it's Sevington, which is the place 20 miles up the road from Dover, where they're actually bringing the trucks into to do a check. They haven't got, they're using private companies to do checks. But the regulation hasn't been sorted out by the British government as to how the checks are going to be carried out. And we're talking about checks on sort of vegetables and things like that could be bringing in disease. And they have to be checked by people that know what they're looking for. You can't just take somebody off the street and say, "Oh, can you check this?" No, you've got to train that person. You've got to show them what it is, what a diseased vegetable looks like. Yeah.
But listen, at this point in time, it's Russian roulette in the supermarket. Nobody's checking what's coming in.
Yeah, I know. They've been waving through. I know they have. But also,
these checks being done so. I mean, you don't even know if the meat you're getting in the package you're buying is actually what it says in the box.
Yeah, correct. You'll notice if you go to the supermarket and buy stuff that the actual sell-by dates don't correspond with what you're getting. I've had stuff going off in the fridge that it had plenty of days to go. It's gone off.
You're finding things like fresh vegetables aren't lasting very long.
Yeah.
And God knows what meats we're getting. As we know, we're sending meats out to get processed because we've got a lack of butchers after Brexit. Yeah. That doesn't mean the same stuff's coming back.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
You know, I mean, we go to the supermarket now, folks, and it's Russian roulette on what you're getting.
Yeah.
You know, it's nuts. Right, oh, we're on boats again, David.
Oh, bloody hell.
£3 billion for a boat that didn't make it out of port down that road.
Broke up
£25 million to fix it, and they talk about ferries for fuck's sake.
Yeah. It broke a propeller.
Right. That is one propeller on a boat that size. It just goes around in fucking circles, huh?
Well, it seems that the Prince of Wales aircraft carrier is coming back into service today after a £25 million repair. My goodness me, I really, really, really hope that if you are ever debating with anybody online over the Calmac blooming ferries,
thanks, Madam.
Just tell them that 25 million was paid to replace a propeller on an aircraft carrier that's not getting the aircraft.
Super chat for Mad Monk, and it says, "Hi, Mr. Milligan, and he who should not be named. Huey, I'll put my boot up your bahookie boy. He who should not be named. That'd be bloody Wido."
Oh dear, the banter's great, isn't it?
Thanks anyway, bro. It's appreciated. Right, that's enough of bloody aircraft carriers with any bloody boats on it. It's just a point to make. You know, they talk about a weeder up money on the ferries, and here we've got a £3 billion boat that doesn't work. In fact, you can't go into warm waters because apparently they break down the minute they hit it. Mental.
That's right. Yeah.
Hey. All right then.
Anyway, we've had a look. We've had a look and a read through of the transcript of the Stirling Directive, right?
Aye.
And being honest with you guys, it's like we can't, between the two of us, we can't see anything different to what was announced prior to that by Salvo and all the rest of it, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to put it into a watching brief where when they actually give us an announcement on when they're going to court, the court dates, or the dates that they're maybe going to New York to talk to the United Nations, then what we'll do is we'll report to that. I really can't find anything more to say about it. There is no new to report.
It was announced to a fanfare of the international press is going to be there. It's going to be a game changer. I watched it.
Yeah,
I was spending the weekend going through the transcript.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, I think to be honest, what they're trying to keep the pot boiling, as it were. I've got extreme respect for anybody that's working for independence, and you do too, right?
Yes, aye.
But the point of the matter is, until we've got something to properly announce that is new, that is different, then I can't see anything to report on. We need for them to give us a court date, or to give us a date they're going to the UN in New York, and leave it at that. So anyway, good luck.
There is a couple of things in it that have changed. They now recognise that there's two claims of right.
Yeah, okay, right.
And they now recognise there's going to have to be a vote of some sort.
Yeah, but
there isn't any magic bullet here.
Yeah, when Sarah was on with us, she herself agreed that you had to get the ballot boxes out of their cupboards.
Yeah.
For people to vote, some kind of vote to make it happen, right? You can argue all you want about a referendum, but it's like we're talking about maybe years and years of court time to make that happen. I've got a great idea. Let's see the next general election. Run as a plebiscite. Get the ballot boxes out. We'll vote for the SNP. We win it, and that's it. Scotland is independent. The people of Scotland will have spoken. Is that not what we want?
It's going to be much quicker than going to the UN and making the deputation to the UN, claiming that we're a colony and could we decolonise, please.
Right, but I have no argument with someone. I mean, Sarah did say we're looking at a three-pronged attack, right? Fine, get on with it, do it, right? I won't be able to go. I've got too much else to do with campaigning this side, right? So therefore, it's got to be somebody like Sarah and people round about her to actually make this happen, right?
But as I say, Gordon Ross had trumpeted this, no disrespect to Gordon because he's right into this stuff, but it had been trumpeted as, something big and that the international community are going to sit up and take note. And the international press was going to be there. What I seen, and I was watching it, the sound was dreadful, that's why I had to go to the transcript.
Yeah.
I was watching it.
You actually did.
Independence Live that was streaming it in a wee room with about 90 or 100 people in it. I never seen any international press.
Yeah.
I don't see anything in the news about it today.
Yeah.
Maybe in the national newspaper, but I haven't looked at my copy of the National today yet.
Yeah.
But so we're going to put this one as a watching brief.
Quentin,
we don't really see anything.
I have to say, the people don't trust the SNP anymore. I've got to say, I do trust the SNP. It's parties like Alba and all the rest of it, the see blooming hitting the SNP, and I'm going, that's wrong. That's just bad. and it's only the SNP that the international community will be looking for to get the seats, the Commons, in order to win the plebiscite election and gain us our independence.
And as I say, I mean, the route they were talking, no disrespect, as you say, David, there's many irons in the fire.
Yeah.
But as class actions pointed out, going to the UN will take decades.
But I've no problem with somebody saying, right, I'll take that bag and I'll walk to the blooming UN and I'll do it. I'll do whatever's necessary. Let them get on. That's fine. That's great. Right?
But well, it certainly wasn't a game changer. It was being heralded as.
Well, all right, okay, David. That's hype that goes on. We know that, right? You know, the people that were maybe sat there doing the maybe they weren't involved in saying, oh, this is the biggest thing since sliced bread. It obviously wasn't. And the people that were putting that out maybe didn't understand that it's all been said before. Yeah, so let's just watch and brief. Let's see what they do next and all the rest of it, and then take it from there. All right.
Aye, we're staying in Scotland with a good news story.
Yeah.
And this good news story is, of course, from the Scottish Government and the minimum unit pricing. Mm-hmm. Right, so now they're looking and consulting with the drinks industry to increase minimum unit pricing. Now, as we know, over the 5 years we've had minimum unit pricing, the amount of alcohol sold per person, even during the pandemic, when everybody was locked up and drinking a wee bit more, has gone down. We know that it's resulted over the 5 years in 14% less people being admitted to hospital with alcohol-related problems, and it's saving about 140, 150 lives a year. Doesn't it sound a lot? But it's inroads.
It's still, if it saved one person's life, it's worth doing, and it's saving 140 people a year, right? Says David as he takes a quaff from his alcoholic beverage.
Hey, I'm not working today. I can have a quaff of alcoholic beverage. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, you know.
Big tip. Anyway.
Relaxing of a pint in his day off, Christ. Well, and a cigarette. All the bad habits on view here. Yeah. I'm surprised YouTube haven't kicked us off for smoking.
I've given that up.
I know. That's what happens when you get your age, but David, you know, you've got to slow down.
Excuse me, are these yours?
No, these ones are mine.
Anyway.
So, anyway, as I say, we're going to partner the salvo thing, and we're going to keep an eye on the consultation with what's going on with the drinks industry. Now, they're talking about putting the price, the minimum unit price up to 80 pence, David. They're talking about sticking about £8 in a bottle of whiskey and a 6-pack of Tennants where you go up to a tenner. 6-pack of beer we go up to a tenner.
But the thing is, everything else in Scotland is bad, according to the Unionist press. I don't think they can have a go at this one.
No, they can't.
Yeah, because it really is good news. It worked.
It
was legislation that came in, put in place, and it worked. It did what it said in the tin, right?
So maybe if we do up it from 50 pence to 80 pence, all right, it's going to shoot up the price of alcohol, but it's going to mean we're all consuming less. It's going to take a lot of stress off of the NHS. You'll probably find that relationships are not breaking down as badly and things like that. It'll be better for family life. And of course, apparently it's 5 o'clock in Tehran. Thanks, class action. That'll do for me. Cheers. So anything that sorts out if we're unhealthy relationship with alcohol is a good thing. He says as his quaffs his beer. Just means I'll be quaffing bloody less here, you know.
Yep.
All right, and the big story of the day.
Yeah, the Rhodes disaster, and also now it's looking like Corfu's pretty bad. What I find strange about all this is that Ryanair and EasyJet are still running a normal service to Rhodes when 15% of the entire island is island landmass is on fire. And anybody that's been into fire, what happens in fires and all the rest, the majority of deaths happen through coal, smoke, inhalation. It's not the fire that kills you; it's the smoke that kills you. And you're getting my heart really goes out to the lovely people that I saw that live in Rhodes. It's a beautiful island, and the people that live in it they really are beautiful people, right? I'm talking inside, right? And these people, what are they going to do? But
I'm very interested about the UK government's response.
What UK government response? They can't find James Cleverly, the Foreign Office Minister. Where the fuck is he? Right? And it's like what we're doing is we're seeing tourists who are running out of their hotels, getting picked up by small boats and going away back into the sea to get away from the flames. That is dreadful. For something like that to be happening, and for the Foreign Office to actually not be doing anything about it is ridiculous. Best idea is to read you what's really going on, because tell you now, the Foreign Office, this is a ridiculous state of affairs. It's now a straightforward screw up by the Foreign Office under the not so clever cabinet member Cleverly, right? By doing that, if they'd have helped folk that might not want to be flown in disaster area and be able to cancel, they'd be able to cancel without losing money.
Aye.
You understand? If the Foreign Office say no more flights to Rhodes, then that means that people that were going to Rhodes, they're not forced to take that flight, otherwise they'll lose money and hope they're going to get there and they're going to get placed in it somewhere that's away from the fire. The 15% of the blooming island's on fire. Do you think you're going to get away from the smoke? No. Yeah. Canada had blooming wildfires, and it was blooming getting into New York and Washington and all the rest of it, right?
Aye.
So
what's interesting about when you're talking about small boats, David, it would appear that the citizens of this United Kingdom are fleeing the island in small boats. I wonder if they're going to be allowed on the mainland.
The most important thing is this is a wake-up call for a lot of people. This is climate change writ large. The whole of the Med is getting too hot and dry, and year on year it's getting worse, and yet some folk are still convinced it's nothing to do with the activities of man that are causing it. If you are one of those, get real and don't be so foolish.
You said that yesterday on climate change.
No, I didn't.
Well, we're heading for net zero, but we're doing it responsibly as we issue another 1,200 licenses to drill the North Bloody Sea.
That man shouldn't be anything. He shouldn't be an office manager, never mind Prime Minister. It's something as that, The whole thing, the whole of British politics, the House of Commons, the House of Lords and all the rest of it, it's all screwed up. It really is. All the big departments, the Foreign Office and all the rest of it, they aren't doing their job. Cleverly somewhere will be on a beach somewhere halfway around the world, laughing his head off. Right?
Well, actually, we'll get to where Cleverly is in a minute.
Right.
But we're talking about getting the net zero and climate disaster, right? I mean, as we know, they're talking about changing their policy down that road to allow onshore wind. You know they won't build onshore wind farms in England, didn't you? Tories are dead against it. But here's the thing, when it comes to offshore wind as well, now, Norfolk Boris, off the Norfolk coast, was supposed to be one of the biggest wind turbine plants or wind farms anywhere in the world. But from firms are pulling out of erecting the turbines because there's something down there. It's called the deference price. What the Swedish firm that was putting in a big part of this installation called Vattenfall, they pulled out of building it because they claim that the contract for deferred prices no longer covers their costs.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alistair. No.
So what you're saying basically is that the deal that was put together no longer pays for the contract. So therefore, the Swedish companies involved in fulfilling that contract are walking away and going, can't do it at that price.
What they're saying is because what happens is this deference price that they get as part of the contract it guarantees them they will get X amount for the electricity generated over a 15-year period, right? But what's happened is that deference price that they'll be getting for that 15 years, because of things like inflation, wage increases, and increased costs, it doesn't cover it. It doesn't cover the construction costs for them anywhere, so there's no point in them going ahead with it. So, as Sunak's trumpeting about net zero, and you've got to remember what they're doing down that road's having a knock-on effect on the industry here. I mean, they put a windfall tax on green energy up here in Scotland, and that's seen investors pull out. You know, nuts.
It is almost as if the UK government are looking to break the thing with any renewable energy whatsoever and force us into what their model of the energy setup is. And as we've been told, they're going to soak Scotland dry in terms of oil and gas, right? And we're putting the windfall tax on wind farms. Not a good idea, right? And also they're looking to get Rolls-Royce to produce these mini nuclear power stations. And I'll tell you where the majority of the nuclear power stations are going. Up here, they'll be in Scotland before you know it, right?
Aye. Well, definitely there's something to change, so they have to put on. But, I mean, we have been going hell for leather to transition away from oil and gas. And every step we've taken up here, they've put barriers in the road. Barriers in the road. Like the price of feeding into the national grid. You know, outrageous. The further north you get, the more expensive it gets. I mean, some of these Highland wind farms are paying £7 to get their electricity into the grid. Per gigawatt. You know, mental.
And yet down south, once you get down to, I would say in line with London, every other energy producer
is getting paid for feeding into the grid.
Get paid money out the way to them. They look at the bank account, oh, isn't there like 1,500 quid, 2,000 quid? I'm talking like small producers here, right? They're getting that money every week. Pump, 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 pump. Yeah.
Right, Now, what did you make of Jeremy Hunt refusing to disclose how big a subsidy was given to Tata to build a battery plant?
The Gigafactory, you mean? Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Where huge amounts of public money has been spent to entice Tata to come here, because let's face it, the optimal place to be with a bigger market would be in Europe. But anyway, they're going to build this plant. And Jeremy Hunt is refusing to tell us how much the UK government is going to subsidise Tata by for building this plant and making batteries. Now, we know that the battery plant in the north of England, which just recently went out of business, we've got a battery plant in Dundee screaming for funds and can't get it after the UK government. But where is it? They're building this one, not in the Midlands somewhere.
The thing is, you really look at it, Dave, if the UK government were serious, really serious about us all having electric vehicles, the first thing they'd do is they'd put together a rock-solid plan of rolling out charging points throughout the UK, right throughout the UK. They come up with a solution for people that live in tenements and flats and all the rest of it, and what they can do and all the rest of it, right? Fact of the matter is, it doesn't work. It's never going to work. It cannot work. And what's happening is, this is a huge money-making exercise where these people will try to convince you to part with your money for one of these idiotic women charabangs, right? And then they'll just pull out of the marketplace. These gigafactories will have the same shelf life as a blooming Betamax producing factory back in the 80s. Yeah? So it's going to be, plus the fact they use what's called rare earth minerals, rare earth metals, right? And the thing is, they're called rare earth because they are rare, right? Okay. And that means
I don't get this carry on with electric vehicles anyway. Hi Elizabeth, how's this one good day? I don't get this carry on with electric motors anyway. I mean, to produce one electric car, you would probably burn less or produce less bloody carbon, but just run an ordinary car. I mean, the amount of minerals, the amount of effort it takes to build one of these bloody things, and they've got a shelf life, and then how do you bloody have to decommission them? Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, electric car isn't the future, David. It isn't.
Yeah. See, once you step just maybe 5-6 years into the future, right? Now, you all know I'm a sound engineer, but I do understand about batteries and all the rest of it because I've had to deal with battery float systems, right? And the one thing about any rechargeable battery is that from day one, it starts to do that. Yeah, you end up, you know yourself, if you've got one of these, they're great when you first get them. Your battery will last for ages. And then what happens is you start to have to charge it a wee bit more, and a wee bit more, and a wee bit more. And eventually what happens is the battery goes. And it's the same with your car. It's still a rechargeable system. I had somebody on blooming arguing that that wasn't the case, right? And it so happened there was a guy that spent half his life on board a blooming container ship going around the world, so his electric car wasn't getting used.
Anyway, apparently Tata will run this gigafactory for about 3 years and it will be threatened with closure due to export costs, and Labour will shoulder the blame for it. If I remember, Tata had a wee foray into Scotland a while back at the Eurocentral, and they set up a factory to make tubes for televisions just as flat screen TVs come in. They took 250 million in subsidies and buggered off.
That's right. So, you know, I have to say, the picture on the headline is a picture of the man that owns Tata, right? He's the chief exec. I can't pronounce his name. Sorry, I'm no good at things like that. But also you've got Rishi Sunak, and you wonder to yourself if Rishi Sunak is maybe playing two sides. And
I quite agree with his Infosoy, or whatever the name of his fair and laws company. Did he have shares in Tata?
Maybe I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We haven't researched that, so I can't say.
No, we haven't researched it. You're right. Now, the final subject today, and this is without going down the rabbit hole, has today with the Mission Foreign Secretary, Mr. Cleverly, who was hosting an international conference on regulating AI last week.
Yep.
And boy, did he look stupid. Imagine going to an international conference when you haven't got a Scooby what you're talking about. He's chairing this meeting on AI, and he's talking about regulating AI, and it has to be pointed out to him that it would need to be regulated in multiple fields. You know, they're talking about general regulation when it has to be pointed out to them. If it's being used in a medical situation, then it's going to be regulated by that particular medical association or body. Same again with banking. Any job actually where AI is going to step in.
Can you imagine regulating the nuclear bomb? Yeah. So in other words, let's say
Salt 1 and Salt 2, sure.
Let's say when that was getting developed, that somebody said, "Oh, we better regulate this," right? In actual fact, they did. When Oppenheimer was building a nuclear bomb, when the big team ran about him, full of nerds, we called them. They were called nerds now. I don't know what they were called then. But, however, when it looked like it was going to be successful, the nerds all went to him and said, "Mr. Oppenheimer, don't set it off because it might set the whole of the atmosphere of the Earth on fire, and it would kill everybody on the planet Earth." And he did it anyway. He made a best guess as to what would happen and pressed the fucking button anyway, right? Now, over to today, we have a technology that has the potential, the possibility to kill everybody on the planet. And yet, we've got idiots like James Cleverly that have got no idea, that are taking the best guess that they can at what it's going to do and what kind of
regulation. You take the best guess. I mean, you're expert after expert tell me, "Shut up, you're an idiot."
Right. So, at the end of the day, it's like, Cleverly's still going to be involved, regardless of what you and I say, Dave. Yeah?
Oh, aye. Oh, of course, say something there. I mean, let's look at the dearth of talent in the cabinet down that road, you know.
Yeah. So, what are you going to do about it? There's nothing you can do about it. The people, it's the same as looking back at COP26. The people that were in charge of COP26 should have been taken outside and fucking shot for the blooming job they did, right? Cleverly's going to be one of them. We're talking about the AI that could actually kill an awful lot of us, right? You imagine you've got a computer system there that's actually thinking for itself. It's self-aware, right? It's got no soul, no emotions whatsoever, and you go to it with, well, we've got a problem in the planet Earth where it's like we've got climate change and all the rest of it, and the AI goes, "Hang on, I'll think about that." Right, so what you're saying is we need to get rid of every human being on the planet Earth. It's a bit like Terminator, isn't
it? I don't think it'll go quite that far. Although
David, do you want to know something? Okay, the fact that it was a blooming story written by somebody, that's fine. I get that. We'd go right down the rabbit hole if we said, yes, definitely. It's not beyond the bounds of that happening.
No, but you know why? You know what I think? I mean, let's face it. AI, and the first thing the stupid buggers ask for is, "Here's a periodic table, make me chemical weapons, please."
That's what happened. That is actually what happened. You had a bunch of nerds that blooming gave an AI the periodic table and said, "Right, see what you can make with that." Came back the next morning, it produced every bioweapon and chemical weapon you could name, plus several others that they hadn't even discovered. What they did was they raised the alarm over it, and they ended up in a meeting at the White House over it.
Aye.
So AIs do have the potential of killing every single one of us. It might not be in the way that you or I think about, but it can happen.
Aye, but David, I said this last week, or say it again this week. I don't trust the monkeys that's feeding the information into the artificial intelligence.
Oh, right, okay.
Any computer system is only as good as the information you put into it. And when you've got a species that hasn't quite reached intelligence yet, trying to create artificial intelligence, that's a can of worms and a big a can of worms and a big book of whoop-ass you just don't want to open.
As I say, the nerds back in the 1940s could have killed us all. We don't know, right? And the nerds now are probably going to do it. They're probably going to achieve killing off a huge amount of the population of the planet Earth.
The other side of it is, and we were talking about the two-child cap being population control. I mean, AI is going to take over so many jobs, so many people are going to be redundant. We're going to have to think of something like a universal basic income to cover it.
Well, thing is, there's still
half the population.
There's still too many opponents to the universal basic income. Even though looking at it logically, there's no problem. No problem whatsoever.
I mean, I remember when you and I were growing up, David, with Tomorrow's World, and he kept telling us that we would have much more leisure in our lives as we advance. You know, well, maybe AI is the one that is going to put us on the door and we'll have so much leisure in our life. So we're going to have to do something. We're still going to have to survive.
I've been researching this since I was 15 years of age. I went to a Glasgow University lecture by A.G.P. Taylor, who wrote the Doomsday Book, right? And he was a futurologist. He reckoned we could all have like 3 cars and all the different bits and pieces that you would think.
I'm still waiting my flying car.
Exactly. So am I. I'm really angry about that. But
I mean, there's Gary's giving an example. You know, you get robot grass cutters putting him out of job. He's a landscaper.
Yeah.
No. But I mean, you think about all the lawyers and that going to be dumped. So there's either we introduce a universal basic income and free up people's imagination, ingenuity, creativity, or else we have to wipe out large swathes of the population because there's no longer a use for them.
Well, see, I would go further than that. I would go, the moment you take somebody's life away, their career away from them, that then becomes a known person. You could say, well, they can take up painting or writing poetry or whatever, right? But then somebody like hooks into an artificial intelligence and go, oh, is this what you're trying to paint? And it brings it up on a screen, you know? Or is this the poem that you were looking for, right? So you've got to understand there's a lot more at stake here than just money.
I want to address what Paul saying. He said AI could be used to save us as well as the destruction. For example, to cure. Absolutely, it could be put to positive use. Absolutely, but we've just spoken about what the nerds did the minute they got the thing up and running. They fed it the periodic table and told it to make a bloody weapon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, therefore, we need regulation. We need very, very specific uses of artificial intelligence, right? But most important, we need to get people like cleverly out of the way. Okay, he's as much use as a chocolate fire girl.
I really want as a scientist that are involved in creating this stuff to say this is how we're going to regulate it.
That's like giving the newspapers the job of regulating themselves, and you've seen what's happened since the News of the World, right? You do not give an industry regulation of itself. It doesn't work.
No, what I'm saying is you go and ask these people how best to regulate it.
No, what you do is you ask the AIs. That's what you do.
Hey, if it's self-aware, David, that's not going to tell you how to fucking contain it.
No, you have to understand. There's no emotion involved, right? And an AI wouldn't lie because it wouldn't come into its. If it's asked a question, it'll go out and it'll diligently do that. It'll do what's necessary, right?
You know, when the answer is make sure there's a bloody off switch.
Well, David, you know, the thing is though, if it's able to reside, you know, you imagine an artificial intelligence that was able to hook into the World Wide Web. That means your computer, my phone, or the tablets, or
you've got to have an off switch to be able to shut it all down automatically.
You would have to be able to shut down the entire World Wide Web, on one switch. Never going to happen. There's lots of different countries. I've got that ability individually. You know, Turkey does, Russia does, China does. You know, but no, not going to happen.
No, but that's the sort of stuff that we're getting in the news at the moment. I mean, up here in Scotland right now, there's a guy in Fife wanting to challenge the First Minister. That's about it. You know, the odd SNP bad story kicking about. I see Angus has been booted, by the way.
Is he? Oh, dear.
Aye. Yeah, I think it was a wrong move, but they booted him. Anyway, apparently Holmes is facing a leadership challenge for a member in the Fife who wants to give their say to the members.
Stephen Kelly says, Metal Mickey's making a comeback. Very good, Stephen. Well, guys, that's basically all we've got for you. We do wish there was more to report on, but
especially here in Scotland, with the silly season being on for quite a while now. We are a couple of weeks in front of the silly season starting doing that.
We've done our best for you. We really have.
I mean, I can understand why Max and Political X has shut down the Sunday roast there this summer because you know, we were looking at it this morning. Maybe they're talking about pigeons in Aberdeen or something stupid. We're back at pigeons stealing bags of crisps in Aberdeen again.
There will be the two Davies will be on doing Thursday and Monday, and Thursday and Monday and all that. We're going to continue doing it, but you have to understand it really is. It's getting kind of daft trying to pull a rabbit out of the hat, as it were. You know.
Try to find stories of substance, David. It's going to be even harder next week because the House of Thieves and Carpetbaggers shut down last Friday. So, you know, we really are going to get into silly season.
Newspapers like the Telegraph put out stories about people in Scotland having to get rid of their gas boilers and put in heat pumps.
Oh, and bloody Davies going to make it easier to put in a loft extension down the road. That's the extent of stories. I don't know how Daily Blase is going to manage us the next few weeks because he specialises in what's going on in the Commons, you know. By the way, it's nice to have you there again today, Daily Blase. It really is. No, we'll still be going. We'll find stories for these folks, and we'll even if it's just about a cat stuck up a tree. Because that's where we're at. We're at that time of year again. You know, as I say, we're at the seagulls stealing bags of crisps in Aberdeen shops again. You know, that's where we're at.
Yep. Anyway, right. So we'll do the wind up. If you
thank everybody for their contributions today.
Yeah, thank you. And we've been getting contributions, believe it or not, whilst we've been off air. People actually go around directly putting money into the account, which is wonderful, right? Every penny we get that we can is going out to food banks, right? And it's all down to you guys. You know, that's an applause for anybody that's given a pound.
To give you a quick update, folks, we sent £750 of your money that you have raised out to 4 organisations last month, and we're halfway to making that target again for David to put out to 3 or 4 organisations this month, and we are eternally grateful, and it's very humbling to see how generous you are. It really is. Now, here's the thing, by the way, folks, we're only a couple of subscribers away from 1,500. Last time I looked, I think we're 1 subscriber away from 1,500. So if one of you generous people there haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and get us to that 1,500. Remember to hit the like button because it helps us with the YouTube algorithm. And that'll put us further up the list and more people will see us. Okay. Now,
if you like us, we are the 2 Davies. If you don't like us, we are the Prince of Wales Aircraft Carrier Support Crew.
That's what you're going to see, the James Cleverly Appreciation Club. Right, we get anything left today? If you're on Facebook, share, and hit the like button. And please share across your social media platforms, folks. It all helps. Okay. Thanks very much for joining us in your droves again today. Audience figures have peaked at 200. They're now sitting at 193 as we close the show down. So that just leaves one thing left today, and that is...
Bye, Davey. Bye, guys.
Bye, Davey. Oh, one for the road.